Okay, so I have a real world issue that I want to talk about, and I don't do this a lot, so I'm serious. Now, rage bait is something I've seen become normalized in Gen Z and older Gen Alpha, and I have a problem with it for several reasons. Obviously, there's nuance, but I think at best it's a sign of emotional immaturity, and at worst, it is bullying. Um, Now, before you call me a liberal snowflake in the comments, or you could just go ahead and do that. I don't really care. I have my reasons to call it bullying. Now, you have two kids on a playground. Let's call them Jackson and Nick. Okay, Jackson starts saying a lot of horrible things to Nick. Okay, he might be making fun of Nick's accent, making fun of Nick's friend Paige, or anything like else, as long as it's meant to, provoke an emotional reaction. Now, when Nick finally reacts by getting angry or crying or getting upset, Jackson makes fun of him. If Nick says, "Hey, you're being kind of mean, please stop," Jackson says, "But, it's just so funny when you react. If you didn't want me to do it, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't react in that way because, it's just so funny." You call that bullying, and it's actually a very common form of bullying, and while most adults don't, do jack about it, it's generally frowned upon to do that, okay? And now age these kids up by about 10 years, and it's called rage bait, and it's socially acceptable. Why is this? Well, what about the 10 years between a 6-year-old and a 16-year-old makes this behavior okay? Well, I believe that it's not okay. Um, Now, there are other kinds of rage bait, notably engagement bait and what I call stupid bait or correction bait, which is whenever you say something wildly stupid and to get corrected, like saying that France and Germany aren't bordering or something like that. My opinions on those two is that stupid bait is funny and better because you're making yourself the butt of the joke, but you still need to be careful with it or people will think that you're actually that stupid. And I'm speaking from experience. I used to do that very consistently, and someone tried to explain the concept of an onion skin to me unprompted. And he wasn't even an artist. Actually, looking back, that could have been a bit of misogyny. Also, engagement bait is cringe, but ultimately part of any algorithm's ecosystem. You can't really do anything about it. Do I think you should? No. But, ultimately, you gotta do what you gotta do. Sometimes you just gotta make that bag, There's a lot of different kinds of engagement bait, from, rage, cringe, stupidity. When I was researching for this, most of the sources I looked into also talked about rage-inducing rage bait, or rage and bait inducing engagement bait. Even if in person, I am talking about in-person rage bait in this video, but the sources that I looked into were mostly talking about out of person, online rage bait. Now, the fact that it's literally just bullying aside, I think that it does have effects on the baiter as well. In my own personal experience, a lot of rage baiters see rage baiting as a substitute for actual conversation. Do you have that friend who always needs to fight about something, so they try to get you to debate them? Do you feel particularly fulfilled afterwards? No? Wow, I'm so surprised. I think that people like this do it for the satisfaction of feeling in control of others, but I also think they get an adrenaline rush, and I think that it damages relationships on both sides. If you have a chronic rage baiter friend, consider talking to them about it. Being around that consistently is not good for your mental health. According to this article by Newport Healthcare, being consistently rage baited strengthens your neural pathways and can lead to you getting angry easier down the road. It can also worsen your anxiety, heighten your stress, worsen your symptoms of depression. I don't think that Ragebait is entirely bad, but I do think that it is a slippery slope, and I think that it can be addicted, just like online gambling. I think that I think that in small doses it's probably actually good, because I think that it can help you be more aware of like what gets on your buttons, but I also think that once someone starts rage baiting people a little too much, I think that they might have a hard time stopping their rage bait. It's usually a pattern because, you know, arguing gets you like a dopamine hit, and a lot of people who are, you know, they get kind of addicted to it, is what I'm saying. I think that rage bait should be treated the same as casual ribbing when it's between friends. Is ribbing fun? Yes. Do I think that consistently ribbing your friends is cool? No, and I think that we should all be more mindful of this, as it has become a lot more normalized in our generation, I think. And I do mean in this generation, because the third Back to the Future movie was, like, the moral of that story was don't fall for the rage bait. And this is not a Gen Z specific problem. We just decided that the person doing the rage baiting is cool instead of, like, a massive asswipe. But, like, seriously, both villains in this movie, rage baiters. I love Back to the Future 3. It's very infrequently talked about. It's my favorite Back to the Future movie. And no, that is not rage bait or engagement bait. I'm being genuine. That is my favorite Back to the Future movie. I think that it's cool. Everything I want from a time travel movie. Anyways. But yeah, I feel like we as a generation need to slow down on the rage bait. I feel like it comes from a very immature impulse to fuck with other people's emotions, and I feel like, you know, it can be good in small doses. Again, I have a nuanced opinion on this, but as a whole, I feel like, you know, the dose makes the poison, or whatever. The dose makes the poison? The difference between an antidote and a poison is the dosage. That's the quote. But, yeah, I feel like we shouldn't be rage baiting each other. It shouldn't be so normalized as it is, and it shouldn't be treated as, like, the cool thing to do. A lot of in-person rage bait is literally just, you're so stupid. The thing that I said to upset you on purpose, specifically to get a reaction, it got a reaction. Isn't that so stupid of you? Are you being so dumb? And that's why I don't like to rage bait, okay? I feel like it's immature, and I feel like it's mean. And I am a big proponent of not being mean to people, okay? Being mean to people is super not chill, and we should not be mean to people. My mom just gave me a thumbs up. I feel like I'm a kindergarten teacher. You shouldn't say things that purposefully hurt other people's feelings, you guys. Guys. I'm sympathy pilled right now, okay? I'm sympathy pilled. I am sympathy pilled until my brother starts listening to his music without his headphones on, and then I am upset pilled. Yeah, so another thing, that I forgot to mention, but I am gonna tack onto the end, rage baiters are just annoying. Like, on multiple levels, they're annoying, and they piss me off. Well, I know that they want to piss me off, but they piss me off in another way, because if you're a chronic rage baiter, hi, I know you're watching this. If you're a chronic rage baiter, some people may find it difficult to understand or realize when you're being serious or when you're not being serious, because it's like the boy who cried wolf, at least to me it is. And if you're a rage baiter and you're a chronic rage baiter and you say something and somebody's like, well, I know you're just baiting, I know you're not being serious, and you are being serious, and you're a chronic rage baiter and you do that, you have no right to get mad at that person for being like, I know that you're rage baiting, because, you know, you rage bait so much. It's like, again, like the boy who cried wolf. What are you gonna expect? So like, I don't like rage baiters for that reason as well. It's also really annoying if you have someone you really want to talk to and they're just like allergic to, like, an actual conversation. Like, what sort of emotional immaturity, toxic masculinity is this? You're allergic to, like, talking to someone. How do you get through life being that much of a failure of a human being? Like, genuinely. Like, genuinely. I hate people. I hate rage baiters. I hate the chronic rage baiters, and you cannot make me like them. So anyways, thanks for watching my video. Thanks for listening to me yap. If you liked the art, consider subscribing. I make a lot of art. I post weekly. Mostly talk about Wings of Fire. Anyways, I'll see y'all. Bye!